Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix. It is New Comic Book Day for the week of February 5th, and we're going to get started right now. This episode brought to you by the Comic Store, 30 North Main Street, Glassboro, New Jersey, 08028. Come buy some comics. Not because they have a light bill problem or anything like that. It's just we're trying something different with the lighting. Let us know what you think.
Hey guys, it's Tim from Capes and Scowls, and we're going to do the trade reviews. You ready? We've got Frozen. This is Volume 1, Adventures. Frozen Adventures. It's an $11 massive trade. That's pretty cool. We have Lucifer, Volume 2. We have Batman Arkham, Victor Zsasz. I like Victor Zsasz a lot. Are we good, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay. You can leave that in, Paul. I don't care. Green Arrow, Volume 8. This is the end of Green Arrow, I guess. Green Arrow, man. Poor guy. Can't keep a title going. Plants vs. Zombies, Better Homes and Gardens. Why, that's hilarious. Paul, I love that this is still coming out, man. That game was how many years ago?
I don't remember.
It was a fun game, though. We got Old Man Quill, Volume 2, completes the miniseries. Old Man Quill. We got Adventures of the X-Men. This is X-Men 92 stories from that era that were backup stories in the Spider-Man magazine that most people didn't read. So you haven't read these, and you'll like them, because you like the X-Men, you weirdo. Legend of Korra, Ruins of the Empire, Part 3. These are like these mini kind of trades that they keep putting out. I like that they're all interconnected. Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn. I think this was last week, and this was something that was missing from our order. I'm not done yet. I got so much more. Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeons and Tombs, A Young Adventurer's Guide. Is this Zub? It's got to be Zub, right? They're all Zub, I think. Hi, Zub. So there's that. We've got Ghost Spider, Volume 1. Still going strong. It's a little weird to call her Ghost Spider now, but it makes complete sense to call her something that's not Gwen, her name. Venom, Volume 3, I believe. Yep. Donny Cates' run. The Punisher Jigsaw Puzzle. This has a ton of stuff in it. Issues 35 to 48 and the annual number 4. And a couple of the one-shots. The prize is in here. I enjoyed the prize. He fights an old Iron Man costume with a knife. It's pretty sweet. We have High Level. You love this, right?
This was really good.
Really good.
Beautifully drawn.
Hey, you love this. Die, Volume 2.
I do love that.
He does love that. Do you love the Orville?
I mean, I've watched like half an episode.
Yeah, it was fine. I watched about the same. Season 1.5. Giant Days, Volume 12. I love this. Giant Days is fantastic. If you haven't started that, you should. God, there's so many trades. DC Heroes, Young Adventures, Justice League, False Destiny, something, something, blah, 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 words. Batman Tales, Once Upon a Crime. This is Dustin Gwynn, who does the Ascender, Descender art in Little Gotham. And I already did Korra. There was 2 of them in there.
First up, we have Tart, issue number 1. Scout Comics, this is kind of an interesting book. It doesn't give you a lot to go on, and as I found out reading afterwards, this is actually a preview issue to a larger trade. So, I don't know. It's the art is really interesting because it is done completely in Zipatone, and you don't find out till later that it was done that way for a reason. You follow this girl who we don't have a name for yet, but we refer to her as Tart, and not like the cute Tart, the bad Tart. And she has to go back in time to 1950s era New York to find a child who has been kidnapped, but not kidnapped by humans, kidnapped by supernatural reasoning, and that's why she's here, and she has to do that. It was an interesting book. Like I said, it did enough for me to want to read the trade, so I might do that in April when it does come out. But if you're looking for something new to try, this one's worth it. Go for it.
All right, first up for me, I've got the After Realm. This is a big quarterly book from Michael Avon-Oeming, who is one of the co-creators of Powers along with Bendis. And this is a very Norse god mythology kind of storyline where Loki is your villain and Elfheim is coming under attack. And Una, this one elf that's on the cover, is failing out of ranger school. She's kind of like, life is terrible. woe is me. I want to do all these cool things, but I got to clean the well. And it is the start of what seems like a super epic fantasy journey. If you like D&D, there's really cool nods to it. I know there's a ton of books coming out now that appeal to RPG and gamers, but this one's pretty fun. Michael Oeming is great, so I think it's worth checking out.
Next up, we have Marauders issue number 7, adding to more and more people as the White Queen tries to increase her power over the council. She is enlisting the help of Callisto and the rest of the Morlocks. And kind of interesting. Where's Kitty? We don't know. Things happened in the last issue, and they're not really addressed here until way later, and it makes me sad. But it's still a very good issue to check out. Unfortunately, this is definitely, we are starting to get into the area where you really do need to read the other issues to kind of understand what's going on because of the political intrigue that happens in these books. So catch up and then check this out.
Next up, we got Conan, Battle for the Serpent Crown, issue number 1. This is Conan, and he's in our timeline. He needs money. He knows he needs money in order to survive in our timeline and to feed himself and do all the things he needs to do to find some wizard he's looking for, which is probably in the regular Conan book. And he happens upon someone stealing money from an armored truck, and he helps her, and he gets coins. And it's a pretty interesting story. He basically walks to Las Vegas, where nobody really bats an eye at a giant shirtless man dressed as a barbarian. And you have Mephisto on the cover. You don't get a ton of him in this issue, but he does appear, and they're on a crash course together. So that's exactly what you want. This isn't some sort of a lie. You'll get there. I think it'll be good. I enjoyed it. I've been enjoying a lot of the Conan stuff. Solid writing and art. A little weird, but I like it. It's Vegas. It's weird. Just read it.
And my pick of the week is X-Men and the Fantastic Four issue number 1. This is a storyline that was kind of started in House of X, where once everyone moves to Krakoa, all mutants are welcome. One of the mutants happens to be Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. That's not going to go very well because obviously Sue and Reed are fiercely protective of their son and don't want him to leave, which kind of puts them in the crosshairs of the X-Men, who not only do they have diplomatic immunity from everything, are kind of emboldened by the idea of Krakoa and come a knocking, and it doesn't go well. It's a really good series. Chip Zdarsky does a great job. Terry Dodson art is just amazing throughout this entire book. That's enough for me to continue to watch it. But I mean, it's a good series. It's a good mini. I'm curious to see how it goes. Check that one out.
All right, it's time for my pick of the week. It's Darth Vader, because it has to be. This book is fantastic. This, of course, just like the new Star Wars title, bridges Star Wars A New Hope and Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. This is great. This is Vader. The moments after Luke falls and loses his hand and the whole thing at the end of the Star Wars movie, and it's what Vader does next. What Vader does do next, without giving away too much, is he goes to Tatooine, and he goes and he looks at Luke's house, and he tries to get clues about Luke and who he was, and you find out a lot of things that you weren't expecting. There's so much that happens in this, I don't want to give it away, but I loved it. It's Greg Pak. Greg Pak, amazing. And all the Star Wars stuff has been great from him. So check this out. If you didn't read any of the Star Wars stuff before it, you could jump in here and be pretty happy about it. I love this story. The story was amazing. You should read it. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Good on you. Paul and I are recovering from being sad about the Super Bowl, and we're fine. We're fine. We're going to be fine. It's all fine. Paul, you fine?
I'm okay.
We're okay.
You kind of open it up again.
Yeah, it's what I do. I've been too nice to you today, so let's talk about that Super Bowl.
You have been nice to me.
Yeah,
Weird.
I don't like it. Shut up, Paul. So that's it. That's it. We're done. That's nothing to talk about. Let's not keep them in suspense. But thank you, everybody who's been tuning in. Thank you, everybody who's been checking out the podcast. If you want to stay tuned to this channel, there's different builds and things that'll be coming up. We're getting ready for con season. It's a very busy time for us, but if you guys have any suggestions, drop them in the comments below. And, we might answer them. Paul, you'll answer them, right? You're pretty good with that.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with it. Sometimes I chime in. I'm like, hey, whoa, look at that thing. That's me. I'll do that. So, make something good in the comments for me to go, oh, yeah, whoa, thing. Okay? Okay, bye.